Hi, and welcome to the 64 Doors. Today we're going to open door 35. Here we find the Heroine, and this archetype is always up for adventure, change, and progress. We're going to explore her from a human design perspective and a Jinky perspective. And we can see that the transit is starting on June 1st and going all the way through to Saturday, June 6th. So all the transits are 6 days. We have the Rave Mandala, and it's 365 days. And each archetype, there are 64 of them, each archetype is going to be for 5.7 days, 6 days almost. So right now we have the Sun in Gemini in gate 35, we have the Earth in Sagittarius in gate 5, and the design part of the cross is the 64 and the 63. So in human design, we speak about this as the incarnation cross. And with the 35, we have 3 incarnation crosses. The right angle cross of consciousness, the juxtaposition cross of experience, and the left angle cross of separation. We can see in the first cross that we have the 5 and the 35, like you were seeing. They're opposite in the wheel, and they are the programming partners that those crosses are starting with. So the 35 is about progress. It is the heroine in the movie. It's about adventure. The 5 is it's a sacral gate, so it's about the rhythm, the inherent rhythm, the natural rhythm. And then on the first cross, the right angle cross, we have doubt and confusion. So 2 head gates that are all about inquiry and imagination in the higher frequencies. So this, for example, is Richard Rudd's cross. He has the 64 as his life's work. So it's flipped, but these are the four gates that he has in his incarnation cross, in his activation sequence. And then when we look at the other 2 crosses, we see that we start with the 35 and the 5, and then we have the 22 and the 47. And for me, I see this a lot like Jesus on the cross. There's something where I feel like this soul has had to go through things that could have to do with dishonor and oppression in order to actually find their adventure, to find their rhythm in life, to find their patience also. Because when you go through those periods of more darkness or heaviness, it can be hard to have patience. So these are the crosses. And if you have any of these, of course, read more into what they are, and also go to the Jinky website, because there you're going to have actually a 1-pager with quite a lot of, like, more than 1 paragraph of text for each one of the gates or the Jinkies. So going back to the body graph, we see that the 35 is a throat gate, and it goes from the throat center and meets the 36 from the emotional center. And this is the channel of transistoriness, a design of being a jack of all trades. The reference theme: yours is a life rich in experience, though poor in meeting the expectation of your own mind and of others. The deepest talent is for adventure. Your goal, the wisdom that nothing lasts. I love this. I'm kind of happy I don't have it. My dad has it. And he's a 1-3, so he's been bumping into things his whole life. And I also want to say, if you hear something in the background, there's a thunderstorm in Florida right now. So that's what's going on in the background. And it's a little bit like this channel. It's like transistoriness. You never really know what's going to come. Is it a flood? Is it a lightning? What is going to happen, right? And if we go into just 35, with the gate of change or progress, people who sample many different things in life in order to learn from them. And some of the keywords are, miracles. Actually, this is the codon ring of miracles. We're going to go in more to that when we go into the Jinkies. It's the desire to dive into the unknown. It's the sexual appetite. It's the yearning for new experiences. It's multi-talented. It's always ready for something new, and it has courage. And the Achilles heel can be bored, like feeling bored when nothing is happening, bored or restless. And then also, of course, being perceived by others as impatient, like always needing hunger for something new can be part of this gate. If we go into the gene keys, maybe right away. So here we can see what I would say with a 35. It's the throat gate, and the shadow frequency is hunger. And this has to do with also, it's actually, here, let's see here. So this has to do also with the amino acid tryptophan. So tryptophan is what also is what's going to make your serotonin levels low or high. So here we have a hunger that actually comes from a chemical balance in your brain or in your endocrine system. So it's a hunger that it does, you can eat all you want, and you can have, you know, all the, if you think about the primal things like food and sex and money, you know, you can have, you can know if it's on a microbiological level, you can not from the outside in any way satiate that hunger. So it's much deeper, and it's something that we see in the human being. You know, I feel like this is also something that we are mutating and working through, because we know that that solar plexus center more than anything is mutating, and this is a, like we were seeing in the beginning, it is a channel that are pointing towards the emotional center. So in the low frequencies, we have that hunger that we can't do anything with, and there is an impatience. So you see the programming partner, the opposite side of the wheel, we have that impatience. And then adventure and patience are the higher frequencies. You can also see that the reactive and the repressive patterns are bored or maniac. And this is one is when you're like kind of like you have it on the inside, so you're killing yourself on the inside, and the other one is like you're killing others with it. So go into as well either in the Gene Key book to read about it, or we have a shorter version inside the 64 doors where you can read about it. And it is the thyroid. Tryptophan is the thyroid. So it's also a gland where we can see the last 20 years, there are so many more problems with the thyroid, especially in younger ages. And especially in women, actually. And we could say it's radiation from mobile phones, or from 5G, or from more like taking flights more often. But there's also something that's accentuating, I feel, in humanity, in the collective right now, where we are feeling a lot of this energy. So the spectrum is the hunger of the species, the adventure is the inner space, or the final frontier. I would read that too if I were you. And the boundlessness is the backdoor into bliss. Astrology, we're still into the Gemini energy, the magician, the curiosity, the play, and the service to spirit. In integral human design, we call this the channel of experience. So that's a little bit easier to understand. And pointlessness, right? So the 36 is about turbulence, and the 35 is about hunger. So that's the kind of interesting, like it's quite pointless to just go after it in the low frequency. But in the higher frequency, we have that compassion. We do have just the taste of adventure. So that creates a lot of experience. And the highest frequency, I love this, it's laughter, because you start to laugh at yourself, and you become like knowing this is a collective circuitry. So knowing that you're doing this also for the whole. There are some experiences that people are going to be able to learn from you having had experience. So that's something, whether you have the 35 or the 36 or both, to know that you're here to have some experiences that are for the collective for sure. And I can see especially people that have a 6 line in their profile, in their activation sequence, are here for the 31st years. It can look quite dramatic with those activations. And the dream arc is exciting too. I can't even Quetzal. I'm not sure if that's the way that it's that is pronounced, but this is an amazing bird, very shamanic. The yak and the grasshopper. And like I've said before, go to Jane Addams' blog, Gene Key's Diary, and she's going to have always a painting with the three dream arc animals, and also she often writes about the crystal. There's also the possibility to buy the mudra for each key. So Richard is just a 1-minute video where he's showing the mudra, and Jane is also painting the mudra. And the last thing, maybe the elements a little bit. So here we have fire over earth, quite powerful. And it says reaching beyond while rooting beneath. And here you can see, earth are these three, and then here we have the fire. So basically, it's made up of gene key 30, sorry, and gene key 2. So gene key 30 and gene key 2 are making up, or you can say the fundamental energy, or the elemental energy of these two are making up the 35. So, and also blazing fire atop the fertile earth. That's pretty cool. So what about this week? Let's see. So in this transit, if we are like, how to tap into this energy, how to put the clothes on of this archetype, how to become the heroine, right? I haven't spoken so much about the heroine because I was really going into the explanation of human design and gene keys. But like, if you want to take on the costume of the heroine, I mean, read the text also. I feel like it's very alive in the 64 doors, and very interesting. My phone is telling me that there is a flood warning until 11 tonight. So I guess that's an adventure in itself. So, where is your hunger insatiable? What in your life right now would you like to change? Are the things that are making you miss out on your adventure, on your boundlessness? Well, maybe that's time to change those things. And also, are your passions and dreams catalysts for your journeys? Like, are you allowing them to come in and actually living that adventure that they can create if you are actually allowing them in? And then, I mean, about excitement, is that something you're lacking? Are you ready to invite excitement into your life? Are you satisfied with your sexual life? What are you longing for in your intimacy? Because this is the hunger too, and the 35 can get bored. it needs newness, it needs freshness, it needs that fire of the 30. Like we saw, it's built up of 30 of fire and earth. And it also needs the earth element. So that's also maybe looking at that in the sexuality. Do you have those two aspects? When do you find yourself bored? Who bores you? What bores you? Like what are the triggers for you to kind of check out and be bored? And is it something that maybe, is it what where does that boredom come from? Is it reflecting, is the projection from you, or is it something that actually shows you that this is not a good activity for you, or this is not a good place to be in? Are you avoiding being bored by being busy? How do you distract yourself? When do you feel bound? Do you know how to say yes to newness? And then I think the last part, and we actually didn't go in so much to that, but has to do with the coding of miracles. There are miracles. Boundlessness are miracles, right? So do you believe in miracles? Have you experienced miracles? Are you ready to invite miracles into your life? Is there maybe a ritual that you could do that could catalyze miracles? Because this gene key are telling us that miracles are possible, and it's ultimately, as always with the gene keys, it's always about love. So also I find the quotes powerful in this specific archetype. So wishing you all a really beautiful and adventurous transit. Thank you.